My name is Kelly Robinson. I use she, her pronouns. I'm proud to serve as president of the Human Rights Campaign, our nation's largest civil rights organization working to achieve full equality for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people across the country. Thank you for inviting me to submit testimony at this important hearing. On behalf of HRC's more than 3 million members and supporters, I've come here today with a single message. The LGBTQ plus people of the United States are living in a state of emergency.
First off, anyone who uses pronouns to introduce themselves or just on a day-to-day basis applies those sort of made-up pronouns, she, him, her, they, this, thus, all of that, they can't be taken seriously and most definitely shouldn't hold any positions of power and influence like Ms. Robinson does as a presidential role. That's just out of this world crazy to me. But even she, notice at first, forgot to add the plus to the LGBTQ.
The LGBTQ plus people.
No one these days can keep up with how many new genders and identities there are. But wait, there's more.
This is not an exaggeration. This is not a dramatization. More than 525 anti-LGBTQ plus bills have been introduced this year in the states. More than 220 of those bills target the transgender community, many targeting children, transgender children. And more than 75 of those anti-LGBTQ plus bills have now become law. We're sitting here 7 years since the Pulse nightclub shooting where 49 lives were stolen, and just over 7 months since the shooting at Club Q that stole 5 lives from the community. This uptick of violence is real, and you've said it already. 1 in 5 of every hate crime is motivated by anti-LGBTQ plus bias. The other reality that we know is true is that these bad bills targeting the community are often accompanied by campaigns of misinformation and lies that sow fear and transphobia in communities. The very fact that we can't identify Leah Thomas as a transgender woman is playing into the fear and anxiety that's motivating these hate crimes. I talk to people every day. I talk to pediatricians that are being escorted to their cars by armed guards because of the bomb threats that they're receiving. I talk to drag queens who are being confronted by Proud Boys with AR-15s outside of drag queen story hours. This epidemic is real and requires action, both legislative and also cultural, in stopping this ability for people to just spout lies about our community.
What's wrong with you people?
Get behind me, Satan, because I'm not going along with this. The real state of emergency and the real epidemic is people constantly living in denial of the truth and trying to force us and sculpt those of us in society that still possess common sense and moral sanity to go along with this. Leah Thomas won't be identified as a transgender woman because William Thomas is a man. Biologically, doesn't matter how you feel about that. That's just the way it is. There's no civil right that LGBTQ members can't exude on a day-to-day basis and participate in that we as straight Americans can. All of us have the same civil rights. What we don't want is you preying on innocent little children and trying to force us to abide by your rules and bow to this new woke sphere of ideologies. Just even hearing this woman casually mention drag queen storybook time and trans children, like nothing's wrong with that, is beyond insane to me. It's nauseating. We're tired and disgusted of hearing about it and having it force-fed to us day in and day out. And you try to flip things and twist things like straight folks are the unstable ones, but look at the shootings that have gone on. Look at the Nashville shooter, the trans, because they're unstable. They're living in this state of delusion. I love them. I feel so bad for them that they can't just take a step back, breathe, and be happy and content with who they are. They have to take it a step further and just keep on pushing the goalposts back until what? Till you commit suicide? Till you hurt other people? Till you hurt little children? Like, when do we stop this? When do we stop playing this game of pretend and make-believe and fairy tale and call this stuff out? Watch how they're treating Riley Gaines, a woman who tied Leah Thomas, aka William Thomas, a man that was competing against a woman in a sport. They tied, and because of the mere facade that they're trying to put on and trying to constantly push this ridiculous agenda of LGBTQ above, what's naturally been straight, what actually is truth and reality. They tied in their national championship meet, but somehow William Thomas got awarded in a women's national championship meet. Make that make sense to me.
This has been your experience over and over and over. You're told as a woman to shut up, don't say anything. What's that like?
That is continually happening. And if we do speak up, you're immediately labeled as some name. They will call you everything under the sun, whether it's transphobic, homophobic, racist, white supremacist, domestic terrorist. They will throw them all at you in hopes to deter you, in hopes to silence you. Leah Thomas's teammates, they were forced every single week to go to mandatory LGBTQ education meetings to learn about how just by being cisgender, they were oppressing Leah Thomas. They were told that they are not allowed to take a stance because their school has already taken their stance for them. They were told that you will never get a job, you will never get into grad school, you will lose your friends, you will lose your scholarship and playing time if you speak out. They told these girls that if you do speak out, and any harm whatsoever comes towards Thomas's way, whether that's through social media, whether that's physical, mental, emotional harm, then you are solely responsible, and you could be responsible for a potential death. And you don't want that, do you? Of course not. Who would ever want to be responsible in a potential death? But that is the emotional blackmail that is plaguing this country, especially in universities.
It's just so evil how they expect men to go along with this stuff and how they treat and degrade real women, women that have to go through that monthly cycle, who have to give birth, who have to do all of these things. And they wouldn't even say have to. Those are blessings. Those are things they wouldn't trade to save the world. They might trade those monthly menstrual cycles. But overall, women, they have paid their dues. But they keep trying to have men be able to take over a woman's sport, take over women's rights, speak on this and that. They're not a woman. You'll never be a woman. You'll never be able to give birth to a child. You'll never be able to change the XX or XY chromosomes that you were assigned at birth. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way reality is. It doesn't matter how cattywampus and delusional your thinking is. Facts do not care about your feelings. You can't change what always is and always will be. You can play dress up. You can put on eyeliner and makeup and chop off and exchange things like you're a walking pawn shop all day long. That'll never change what the reality of the situation is. You're either a man or a woman. You're designed to and compatible to be with each other in marriage, the covenant that God created it to be. You're the only ones that can form a baby. Nobody's out here harming LGBTQ people because of what they do in the bedroom, of what they do behind closed doors. People don't like when you force their kids to do certain things in schools, and no woman should have to worry about duking it out with some other man in sports. It just doesn't make any sort of rational, coherent sense. There's no logical brainstem connected anymore with these people, or it is, and they want to play all these smoke and mirrors, fake facade games. Like, this is not a propaganda. This is lives that are at stake. These are lives every day that are being played with. Like, these women are having scholarships removed, having championships that they earned, that they grinded for day in and day out, year after year, because they have to unfairly and unjustly compete against a man who genetically is going to have other physical gifts and strengths that a woman just naturally doesn't have. That's just the way it is. Women have other gifts, intuition, things of that nature, childbearing, all sorts of things that we all bring to the table. We don't have to coincide with everything with sports. Men should have men's sports. Women should have women's sports. Nobody wants to watch Michael Jordan go against Lisa Leslie in their prime, because Michael Jordan with a 360 windmill through the legs dunked on Lisa Leslie. And she had a height advantage, I do believe. Either way, nobody wants to watch women going against men or men going against women. We want to see dudes going at it that train year round, that are physically dominant and aggressive. We want to see Ray Lewis going against Brian Urlacher, Ray Lewis attacking a running back coming straight up the gut. We don't want to see Candace Parker taking on Mike Tyson, or we don't want to see any of that. Just things that are naturally sacred, have always been. We don't have to cross that. It's evil, and these radical leftists just keep on embracing people's mental illness and confusion instead of, lovingly directing them towards the truth. The same truth that hasn't changed since humanity was brought into existence by God Almighty. There's only two, count them, these two genders. That's it. That's it. It doesn't have to be evaluated and diagnosed any more than that.
Male, female, boy, girl, okay? Biologically, do males have an advantage over females biologically in sports?
Again, I'm not a physician, and I can't speak to that.
What's your real world experience?
It depends. I mean, there are some people who are born male that I'm faster than if I were to sprint against them, and some that I'm not. Some males that are taller than some women, and some that are shorter.
You don't believe that a biological male has a physical advantage in sports over a biological female?
Not as a definitive statement.
Give me an example. Well, no, I don't think. How many female members of the NBA do you see?
Well, I can say that, there's been this news article about men that think that they could beat Serena Williams in tennis, right? That they think that they could actually score a point on her. And it's just not the case. She is stronger than that.
What's your experience, Ben? male, female?
Both Serena and Venus lost to the 203rd ranked male tennis player, which they're phenoms for women. My experience, my husband, he swam at University of Kentucky as well. In terms of accolades and in terms of national ranking, I was a much better swimmer than him. He could kick my butt any day of the week without trying.
This lady knows darn good and well that if Novak Djokovic or Andy Murray or the aging Roger Federer walked in, it would be a shutout. Hands down, the top 700 male ranked players in the world, I bet, would absolutely crush Serena Williams. Just like Riley said that her own husband, who's not nationally ranked, doesn't have the accolades that she does in swimming, he would beat her on any given day, no matter what, just because men naturally, more often than not, I'm saying 99 percentile, we would beat women in whatever the sport may be because we have more speed, more strength, more agility, more endurance, all of that sort of stuff. And this lady is blatantly lying in a public hearing setting. I just don't get it. I just can't get on board with it. And even Serena Williams, I found a clip of her on a late night show. She even admitted that she don't want to smoke with Andy Murray. She doesn't want to go against men because she knows as jacked as she is, as talented and amazing of a phenom as Serena Williams and her sister Venus and many other tennis players, Maria Sharapova, all of those, lots of very talented women, they just can't hold a candlestick to men in sports. And that's okay.
Well, who would it be?
Well, I don't know. Let's say you would be the...
I was hoping you'd say.
All right, feminine side. And me.
And you. Oh. Well, actually, it's funny because Andy Murray, he was been joking about myself and him playing a match, and I'm like, Andy, seriously, like, are you kidding me? Because for me, tennis and men's tennis and women's tennis are completely almost two separate sports. So I'm like, if I were to play Andy Murray, I would lose 6-0, 6-0, in 5 to 6 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, because no, it's true. It's true.
Honestly,
It's a completely.
really?
It's a completely different sport. The men are a lot faster, and they serve harder, they hit harder. It's just a different game, and I love to play women's tennis, and I only want to play girls because I don't want to be embarrassed. I would not do the tour. I wouldn't do Billie Jean any justice. So Andy, stop it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you kill me.
I'm with you when it comes to tennis. I only want to play girls.
Yeah.
We got that going on.
To wrap this all up, we need to love people so much that we keep telling them when they're messing up. Just like our parents did, whether you grew up in a single parent, a married household, however you grew up, grandparents, uncles, aunties, somebody along your life told you the truth and it helped guide you in the right direction and change the trajectory of your life for the best. We love everybody, LGBTQIA+, whatever you're labeling yourself is, I love you. I pray for you diligently that you wake up from this mental state that you're in and just find truth, find real peace and reality, which can only be found in Jesus Christ. That's the only way you're getting to heaven, baby. That's it. You might not like that. That's just how it is. Thank God that we have a playbook. Thank God that we have guidelines and rules and structure that provides real freedom. So we know how we're supposed to live. We know what real freedom entails, and we don't have to try to figure this thing out on our own. Ephesians 6 verse 11 says, put on the full armor of God so that you can stand against the schemes of the devil. The devil is hard at work right now, luring these people into the one-way ticket to hell, into a path to death, waging this sin openly, promoting it, living in lawlessness, and trying to pray it onto these little kids and trying to get them to come over to your side of pervasion. It's not going to end good for you. It's better that you would have a millstone fastened around your neck and dropped into the depths of the sea compared to what you got coming for you. If you don't wake up, if you don't repent, confess Christ as Lord, and get baptized and wash all this nonsense and filthy sin away. Again, I love these people. I love y'all. Whether you love me or not, that's up to you. That's your prerogative. I pray for this world, and we got to protect these women, real women. We got to protect these kids, and we got to keep standing firm in the foundation of truth. That's all I got for this one. If y'all got any thoughts down below, please let me know. Again, God bless Riley Gaines and the people with common sense that do speak at these hearings. And we got to keep standing up. Even if this gets taken down, even if, people don't like what you're saying, you know what's right and what's wrong, or you should. And if you don't, you can find it in the basic instructions before leaving Earth. If Jesus don't get down with it, you shouldn't either. But Let me know what you guys think down below. Let's keep this conversation rolling. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you're not already, ring that notification bell so you get notified anytime I post a video. And, you know, feel free to share this video as always. The algorithm is always working against Christian values. So definitely get this out in front of the public so they can see what real truth looks like, not just this perceived fake of this world truth. But outside of that, if you want to support the channel, you like what I'm doing over here, you can always get awesome designs like this, Isaiah 41:10, made by my lovely wife over on her Etsy store. She also has insulated tumblers like this Soldiers of America one right here, many other Christian American designs, petite small designs to big and hefty 5Xs. We got everything you would like over there, linked in the description section down below. Big thank you to my Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee members. Y'all know I love you. You putting your hard-earned money behind me, I am forever grateful. I can't even put it into words how much you guys mean to me and just allowing me to monetarily support my family when YouTube made demonetized videos or whatever it may be. But if YouTube takes us down, I'll be over on Rumble, so make sure you're following me over there as well. But until next time, I love you. Godspeed. I'm gone.